Hey, Ryan Williamson here with Sourwood Farm, and in this little nuke, we've got a queen experiment going. I'd love to experiment, so here we go again. This experiment came out of just a late night conversation rambling with Matt Kobe, and he asked a very simple question about, do mated queens fight and kill each other, or is it the workers? And at that moment, I was like, oh yeah, they do. And then it was like, wait a minute, I've definitely seen virgin queens tussle and fight. I've seen that in swarms, and then also when I've slipped some in the cages together accidentally or just curiosity. Mated queens, though, it's like, oh, really don't know. That's an interesting question. At the moment, I actually had two mated queens, and they were in cages. They were rejects out of colonies, and I thought, wait, I could slip them into a cage and see what happens. And so that's where this video started. And then the experiment kind of got a little out of control. So I hope you enjoy and come along for the ride. This is a little bit of a long one, but I find it really fascinating and interesting, and really curious what's going on in this box. If you follow to the end, you'll learn about how we set up this nuke with the experiment, and there's actually going to be just a fun little raffle to see what's going on. I don't know. It just is just for kicks. Yeah, so oh my gosh, I just realized I'm wearing this shirt's all torn. That's not a great one for videos, but fun fact, this shirt here I bought in 1994 and wore it on a 3 summer solo trip of the Appalachian Trail over 3 summers. So this was my original long distance hiking shirt. That used to be my passion before bees. Okay, I just put in two mated queens into this cage. We're going to see if they'll duke it out or not. These are queens I pulled out of colonies that were not performing well, so I don't really care much about them. My friend Matthew Kobe and I were chatting on the phone. He asked if two mated queens in a cage would sting each other, and I said, hey, actually I have two mated queens. Here it is, close to midnight, and just throw them in a cage and see what happens. That's kind of interesting. It's almost grooming more than fighting. All right, morning update. Both queens were still alive. I gave them some candy and had this little wet sponge underneath the cage. So this morning, hey, they're alive. So we just put the wet sponge inside. I need to make a little candy for them to eat. And now just pulled attendants out of this nuke. This is where a feeder jar was. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm very curious if attendants might kill one of the queens, or if they're just all going to get along in a cage together. Time will tell. Pretty neat, though. Well, there's a little bit of feeding going on. All right, it's been a week, and both queens are still hanging out. There they are, right together. And I just replaced the attendants. Just grabbed some random attendants out, or bees, cracked the lid, and just grabbed them off the top bars. So who knows how old they are? That was from a nuke, again, a nuke with mated queen in it. These are not from the same hive as these two queens. And now the experiment is going to get even more interesting, because we have a third queen to add in. Oh, how is this going to work with one hand? Let's see if we can try sliding things. Maybe she'll walk through that hole. No, that's not going to happen. I know queens enough. They're not. We're just going to let these bees out. They'll go to the window. And here comes another bee. So all I have left is the queen in that cage. She's taking her sweet time. I'll put one of these in as an attendant. Add some more attendants in. Oh, they are frantic. Still waiting for that queen to come out. She does, I'll grab. Oh, that's funny. These two bees were in the same cage and they're fighting. Silly girls. Why is that, I wonder? Alright, so glad the fighting ones are not in the cage. Come on, queen. Alright, well, we're just going to open this up a little bit more. There she is. Ah, she flew. Well, guess that's what I get. Now, let's see if we can find her. Oh, there she is. Nope, that's, yeah, that is her. Oh, she is more feisty. She's a younger queen that was an emergency queen, and just the nuke's failing, basically. So I just pulled her out. All right, here's third queen goes in. So now we have 2 green dotted queens that are a year old and a much more recent blue dotted queen who is definitely stronger pheromones. I can already see some more tussling happening in here now that she's in there. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let's see, there we go. What's going to happen? Can we have a cage with 3 queens? Maybe so. I see all 3 just hanging out. The queens do not appear to be fighting inside a cage. See a worker feeding one of the queens there. Well, there we have it. 3 mated queens hanging out in a cage together with attendants that came from a different nuke. Go figure. Huge thanks to Matthew Kobe for asking, will multiple mated queens hang out in a cage together? We tried 2. Now we have 3. Wonder if we should go for 4. Okay, I have to admit, I am really excited. I was at this outyard here yesterday and found this colony here without a queen. And so now we're going to try something that's going to just be really fun. I have the 3 queens in this cage, and we're going to see what happens when you introduce 3 mated queens in a cage all together to a colony. Will they be kind of like sisters in the sense like, or like a daughter-mother kind of situation where the colony will let multiple queens live when there's a supersedure, or will the colony decide on one? I'm just really curious, because it's clear that the queens don't kill each other, that it's more the colony deciding on a queen. So we're going to just, I can't tell you how excited I am. So we've got 3 queens in here. I've gone ahead and there were, the 2 green queens from last year. I painted purple on the back of one. So we've got green, we've got purple, and we've got the blue, which is you can see she's smaller, the supersedure queen from this year. Definitely not as good of a quality queen, I don't think. So I'm going to put the camera on this little gizmo around my neck and put a veil on, and we're going to go in. That's cat brood. Well, I'll be. I thought this was queenless, but there's actually a queen in here. I see eggs. So I saw emergency cells thinking, oh, that's a queenless colony, but actually they must have accepted the queen I put in and kept the emergency cells. So much for our experiment of introducing multiple queens. And there is the queen that has been accepted. So we will leave her be. Oh boy, I'm excited. Just found a 4th queen to add into our cage. All right, here we go. I was just in this colony over there, and that colony did not hold the mites down well. Their last mite wash was 24 mites, so they got a treatment of formic and have since then gotten some more oxalic acid to clean them up. And we now have a 4th queen. So I'm going to put my phone here that I'm taking the video with in a holder. And so right now we've got a green queen, a purple queen, and a blue queen. That's their paint colors. And this one now is a mixture of blue and green. So we can tell them all apart. And I think we're going to just have to do an experiment. This is going to be fun. All right, so I'm going to slip 4th one in. Seems like we have pretty good evidence that queens don't kill each other. Mated queens, that is. We know virgins will. At least I've seen it plenty of times. All right, so, oh, look at that. Looks like she's trying to kill one of the workers almost. She's got her abdomen curled. One of the other queens curled her abdomen too. Ooh, do we have some aggression going on? Yeah, that's fascinating. I think we might. So freshly laying queen and queens that have been caged for a while. Look at that. That's some definite aggression going on. So while they're duking it out, we're going to go over here and I'm going to grab my hive tool. I'm going to find a new queen to add into this colony. That will be, I think, in this nuke here. So I'm going to set this in the shade so they don't get cooked. We'll come back and see how they're doing in a bit. I love these experiments. Okay, here we go. So what we're going to do here is see if we can find a mated queen in this nuke to put into that full-size colony that had a queen that did not hold mites down. She's older. I don't necessarily want her to be the queen heading that colony and making drones next year. So if I can find a better genetic queen and move her, well, that would be better. So let's see what we can find here. Queen in this colony should be marked with clipped wing according to my notes. They have pretty much shut down on the brood for the year. And even though they're hungry, their temperament has been quite nice today, working without smoke at the moment. Daddy Longlegs just scampered across the frame. Let's see the queen there. Watch, I'm going to miss her. Y'all will see her in the video and go, hey, look. That guy's blind. I'm trying to peer over the phone because it's around my neck and I can't see well. Okay, let's see. Still not seeing her. So, yep, probably gonna have to go through again. So check that last frame. Do. At this point, I'm just going to cruise back through one more time. The queens have really shrunk down since they're not laying, and that is making my life a little bit more challenging for finding them because they scurry a little bit more. Look at that first frame one last time. There's a bumblebee going in for a little free meal. Let's see her there. It's funny, they're humming almost like they're queens. That might be funny. Oh, there she is. Okay. So I'm going to pick her up by her wings. Put this nuke back together. We do have a little robbing pressure going on, so I need to be pretty quick. Oh. All right. We'll use this frame here, I think. Oh no, that might mess up my experiments. We'll put that back together. Okay. Come up here. And oh, look at that. The wasp trying to get some free food. Bees not have anything to do with that. So check the bees off of that mostly. Got this pushing cage here that's got candy and a little homemade candy tube added in. So the idea is that the queen can lay if she needs to or wants to. And pheromones stay very strong. and then the bees will release her using the candy, so I don't have to come back and do it. I have really, really good success doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and put our mated queen in there. Nope, I did not get all the workers off, and that was foolish. I'll go get some attendants from the other hive to add in there with her. Throw in a few more attendants. Ah! Oh boy, this is awkward not being able to see. Okay, now we got attendants going in there. Put the lid on this nuke upside down so I come and deal with it. Okay, so now queen's in there, some attendants, just because there were a few attendants from the previous colony. I'm just going to put a little bit of syrup on there, just help them like her. And now we're going to put that into this colony, like yay. Make sure I leave the biggest crack right there, so those bees can release her. And now we have what I think are better genetics, heading up this big colony, going through winter. And now we get to play with the 4 queens in a cage in a nuke that is now queenless. Ha ha, there we go. The syrup, they don't really need it. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Are they still tussling or? Ooh. Hard to tell. Okay, I see. Definitely more fighting going on with having introduced that 4th queen. Everybody's alive from what I can tell. Oh, that does look like 2 queens tussling there a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put a queen cage with 4 queens in it into a nuke, see who makes it through the winter, or at least for a few weeks. I'll come back and check. So what we have here are 3 queens that are a year old. They all had green paint, but now one of them has purple added and the other one has some blue added to it. So we have purple, green, and blue, and straight green. And then we have 1 queen that's much younger that was a supersedure, arguably probably the worst quality of the 4, because she is clearly smaller, even though she was made this year. So she's younger, but maybe a little inferior. And the green and blue one arguably should have the strongest pheromones because she was just laying. So what we're going to do now is introduce them to a nuke. And we'll come back and see if, since they have been mostly getting along up until today, adding a 4th, we'll just see. I'm opening up the candy here so that bees can get that candy out. I think that'll work. I'm just really curious, will we have a situation kind of like a supersedure event where the bees will let multiple queens live, mother and a daughter, or will they decide on just one? So we're going to set that cage there. I don't think it's skinny enough really to go between the comb, so I'm going to quickly grab an inner cover here that has some more room, and we will put that like yay. Oh, look at that. A little bit of pollen patties that were on the underside of that lid. Might as well give them that. Although there's no brood, so I'm not sure why I'm doing that. Maybe bulk up their protein for winter, even if they're not raising brood. A little bit more. That extra pollen patty, so I'm just trying to use it up before it goes bad. Oh boy, this is fun. All right, so now the question is, which queen's going to make it? And hey, you know what? Let's do something fun. Let's say we place bets or guesses on who's going to make it, and will it be blue, green, purple, or blue and green. And we'll check back in maybe 2 weeks and see which queen is cruising around the colony. If there's multiple people guessing for the same thing, I will randomly pick one. And I'm thinking we'll send a little gift your way. Never done this before, so why not? Oh, don't jump in my bee van here. I think I have. What a mess. There we go. I'll send a nice bottle of spotted lanternfly honeydew honey. So this is really unique honey made from spotted lanternflies, or the honeydew of spotted lanternflies. So we will send this your way if you pick the right queen and you get picked. All right, this will be fun. Quick follow-up. It looks like the green and blue one, the one I just put in, is dying. So how curious is that? The one with the strongest pheromones, it does appear that she immediately started attacking other bees, that she actually was the one that was killed. I'm very surprised by that. See if we can get an image of her. Huh. Go figure. That's not something I was expecting. She looks all curled up right there. Does not look very happy. Yep, looks pretty dead. So, we're back to 3. Mated queens can fight, it turns out. And the competition now is between blue, purple, and green. So, if you live in the United States and you pick the right one, and you get picked, I'm going to be sending you a bottle of honey from Spotted Lanternfly Honeydew.